But did you know there are locations, areas, villages in the United Kingdom that have not seen sunlight since October? That is right. There are places in the United Kingdom that have not seen the sun since October. And I thought it was crazy hearing that New Jersey has not had rain since September, and yet there are people that have not seen the sun in almost a month.
For more than a week now, what's called an anticyclonic gloom has meant some places in the UK have had virtually no sunshine. It's been windless, rainless, and sunless. Meteorologists say this kind of gloom is unusual, but not unheard of. Usually, by this stage of any normal November, we would have had about a quarter of all of the month's sunshine. This year, we've had 5% of it.
Now, I don't know if you've ever heard of this very rare weather phenomena before, but there is this thing called the anticyclonic gloom, and people in the United Kingdom are blaming the anticyclonic gloom for the lack of sunshine. Reading this article from The Guardian, which was published on November 8th, an anticyclonic gloom has been blamed for cloudy weather across parts of England, with one village receiving absolutely no sunshine since October. The entire world seems to be going through some type of bizarre weather. Continuing to read from the article, it says an atmospheric gloom is when high pressure traps
receiving more than 4 million views, and Katie's follower count leaps from about 3,000 to over 80,000.
Jesus fucking Christ. God, God, thank you. This man approached my son and started talking about how he wanted to live a quiet life and made sure to get 8 hours of sleep no matter what.
Followers in just one day.
The code word is yes, it's loaded.
Katie's story is particularly concerning for residents of Petaluma, as the city is home to one of America's most notorious child abductions.
Oh.
The kidnap and murder of 12-year-old Polly Klaas in 1993.
Ooh.
What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and I'm going to talk about how the world hates good people, you know? this world is not really oriented toward goodness. This world is not oriented toward love or kindness. This world is oriented toward money, toward who can make things the shiniest, who's the biggest and the strongest, who's the biggest victim, who can get the most attention, who can be the biggest pity case, who's the greediest, who can hoard the most wealth. This world's about a bunch of negativity and a bunch of BS. And the thing is, when you're a good person living in this world, the world is very oriented against you, because the world is about evil, and most of the people in the world are unfortunately on the side of evil. And it's a tough pill to swallow. I used to think that I see the good in everybody and all this stuff, but going along my journey of life, going along my spiritual journey, I have really learned that most people are not good. Most people are not doing what they're supposed to be doing. Sorry, give me a sec here. And that, like, if you're a good person, you're going to feel a lot of rejection from this world and from this system. They're going to act like they're punishing him or punishing her or whatever, or they're going to act like that, but secretly they admire that and they like that. I'm serious, from the time of a little kid, from the time of being a very little kid, from the time you're a baby, from the time you come out of the womb, this starts. And that kid who's a bully and who's mean and who doesn't treat other people right is going to get all this attention and all this extra love, and they're going to, that kid is going to get picked up and is going to get propped up and is going to sort of have people believe in them. And I'm serious. I'm not even kidding. And on the other end of the spectrum is you have the kid who's a victim, who's always crying for mommy, who's always has an owie, who's always this, who's always that, who wants to get all this sympathy. They'll prop that kid up as well. That kid will get propped up all the same. And, they're going to essentially, make sure that kid gets better along in life. They're going to make sure that kid gets better grades. They're going to make sure that kid fits in better socially, whereas the kid who's nice, who's quiet, who's not trying to whatever, who wants to share his toys and all that stuff, they're going to look down upon that kid from an early age, They're going to say, oh, that kid's nice, he's a dork, whatever. And I'm serious, this stuff starts at a very early age. So from the time you're a little kid, the kids who are nice are going to be looked at as a dork or a pushover or whatever, or why is that kid so nice? Or they're going to have so much responsibility thrust onto them, and they're going to say to that kid, you have to get this good grade for everybody or whatever, and the kids who choose to be good kids are going to get thrown aside, is the truth, And it's the truth about this world. This world rewards narcissists, rewards toxic people. That's why there are so many of them. And that's why, for the most part, the people who run our society, the politicians, the CEOs, the religious leaders, the leaders in the education system, whatever, these people who are at the top of the matrix, the top of the system, they are, for the most part, narcissists, sociopaths, psychopaths, very, very bad people, and we see this with Epstein, and we're seeing it with P. Diddy, and we're seeing it with all this stuff. Mike Jeffries, the Abercrombie and Fitch CEO, we're seeing it with him. We're seeing it with all of them. And the reason why they were able to get to that point is because they were enabled very, very heavily along the way. The world enabled them. People opened up doors for them. People were okay with it, People like the fakeness. They like someone who's going to lie to them and tell them what they want to hear. They don't like the truth, because that's what good people ultimately do, is tell the truth. And I want to differentiate between being a good person and a quote-unquote nice person or a nice guy or whatever. I want to differentiate between that, because a lot of people will act like a big victim that needs all this attention, that's all helpless and all this stuff, and I'm so nice and helpless. And I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about someone who genuinely has love in their heart, who genuinely seeks the truth, who's genuinely trying to do the right thing. That's what I mean by a good person. Not someone who's going to beat their chest and look at what a good person I am or whatever. I'm not talking about any of that fakeness or that toxic positivity or any of that fake stuff whatsoever. I'm talking about a genuinely good person. You know, and the world attacks genuinely good people. And the thing is, genuinely good people are needed. You can't get anything done without genuinely good people. Things need to be created from some kind of good place. So people are going to try to suck you dry. They're going to try to steal everything they can from you possible, so they can, build their empire off you. You know, look at Thomas Edison and Tesla. You know, Tesla, chosen one. You know, spiritually leveled up, genius, whatever. Thomas Edison, narcissist, sociopath, manipulator. You know, and Thomas Edison stole all of Tesla's ideas and manipulated Tesla and dragged Tesla through the dirt. And that's what happens, you know, unless you're at where I'm at, where it's like you're not going to do that, and I'm not going to allow that to happen, and, you know, we're going to both stand on this bridge, and, you know, I'm going to push you off the edge. And that's how it is with narcissists in my life. I'm serious. Narcissistic coworkers, whatever, they thought they were going to pull this crap with me, and then whatever, they quit, they get fired. I freeze them out. I don't talk to them because I know the game. I know the game, you know, and let me tell you, like, don't let people freaking steal your good work or profit off your good work or profit off what you do, because that's what they're going to try to do. And they're going to try to attack and destroy your self-esteem, make you not feel good enough, overwork you, tire you out, constant demands, whatever. It's what they're going to do, and it's what the world is going to do to you. And you have to kind of say, you know what? You're not my boss, world. God is my boss. And you know what? If you don't believe in God, that's fine. I'm not going to force that. But just say goodness is my boss. Morality is my boss. The truth is my boss. Love is my boss. Ethics are my boss. Whatever. I mean, you need to have some higher principles above you, you know, something like that. I personally believe in God, you know. But you got to strive towards something greater, you know, because these evil people of the earth, they only strive with ego and carnality. They don't strive for any higher ideals above them. It's all this ego in their heart. It's all the hate in their heart, you know. It's all that jealousy in their heart. That's what fuels them, and that's what they move off of. And that's not going to lead to good things. So how do they get good things to manifest in their life? Well, they have to find a good person, manipulate that good person, and steal from that good person. It's the bottom line. And that's what happens. And, you know, beyond that, like, and I mean, real quick, like, stand up for yourself. Don't let that happen to you. Know who you are. Know what you're about. Set boundaries. Cut people out. Say no. Do all that stuff. Do all that stuff. Cut them out. Get rid of them. Set boundaries. Don't allow it. You know, you have to set a very hard line to be very tough. You know, but going on to my next point is, like, they are bad people, and seeing you as a good person, it makes them have to self-reflect. It makes them have to look at themselves in the mirror. It makes them realize what a low person they are. It makes them realize that they don't have ethics or morals. You know, it draws attention to that, and they don't want to think about that. They don't want to feel that. That's not something that they want to have to face, and they hate the fact that we sort of let them know that they are behind and that they are failing and that they are not doing the right things in terms of being a person, in terms of the path of God, in terms of, you know, any kind of righteousness and morals. We remind them how low they are and how evil they are and how bad they are, you know. Just our very presence reminds them of that, and they hate it, you know. They hate it. And the thing is also is good and evil are not friends. Good and evil are opposed. Good and evil are enemies. Good and evil will never get along with each other. Good and evil will never chill with each other. It's not how it works. And it's not what's going to happen, you know? So, I mean, good's not trying to attack evil or antagonize evil. Evil will ultimately attack good, but That's what's going to happen. They're going to see us being good people, being decent people, and they're going to go, nope, we can't allow that. We got to stop that. We got to stop them from being good. We got to stop them from doing the right thing. And they're jealous of it too. They're jealous of the fact that being a good person gives us a higher purpose. We have a higher purpose beyond our flesh, beyond carnality, beyond our ego. You know, we have that higher purpose, and they don't. And they're extremely jealous of that, you know? And I think, you know, deep down, I think also they know that they're going to take that trip downstairs to hell, you know? And we're going to take that trip upstairs to heaven. And I think they know that deep down, that we are good with God and we're good with our Creator. You know, and again, if you don't believe in God, whatever, just try to take what you can out of this video. But like, they know that, you know, and they know that there's not going to be a good destination for their soul. You know, they know that it's going to, in the end of the day, end bad for them. And they're jealous. Like, I've literally had spiritual and religious narcissists be jealous of the fact that, because they knew that God loves you more than me, blah, 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 blah. I've literally had those kind of people say that to me. Separate video, but I've literally heard those words said to me. And deep down, it's where a lot of them are at, you know? They're not happy that we're with goodness. They're not happy that we're with love, and they're not, you know? And they don't want to change either, because they are highly egotistical. They're all about their ego, and they're not going to make the changes or do what they need to do. And so that makes them even more mad and even more upset. And ultimately, they are with their father, the devil, you know, who is Lord of this earth, you know, of this evil earth. And like, they're going to be out there gunning for you too. Like, when it comes to dealing with narcissists and really toxic people, like, they are gunning for you. They are trying to get you, you know? I've heard of people refer to themselves as targeted individuals because of this. Because it's like, they're coming, I've literally had to deal with it, where it's like, this person is specifically out to get me. And I have done nothing to them. But this person just wants to cause as much problems for me in my life as possible, you know? And I won in the end. I did not give way to their BS, but it's annoying to deal with it. And it's just something where it's like, why are these people just flipping a switch and turning against me all of a sudden? And all of a sudden, it's so much games and manipulation, and they're trying to do everything to get in your head and get you to doubt yourself and get you tripped up and all this stuff. And, you know, they're playing all these mind games. They're trying to attack your confidence in any way possible. And it's just like, man, like, what is up with these people? You know, what are they doing? And don't lose sight of who you are when you're going through this stuff. Like, keep in touch with who you are, and don't let them define who you are, you know, because they don't define who you are, you know. You define who you are, and God defines who you are, you know. It's the truth. It's the truth. It is. And it's just, man, I just wanted to make this video to clarify that, you know, why good people have to go through a lot of drama and a lot of crap, you know. It's because of this evil world, and evil people in this world, as individuals, take it upon themselves to come after us. What's up, y'all? It's Truth Tiger, and I'm going to talk about how nobody has friends anymore. You know, people used to just, like, have friends and be friendlier and all this kind of stuff, and, you know, I have my own personal reasons for not having friends, and, you know, it's just gotten tougher. It's gotten tougher to have friends. It's gotten tougher to trust people. I think people have just gotten more selfish. People have gotten more in the matrix, I guess. Just more about society, just more about politics, more about the culture. I don't know. People are locked into these subdivisions, you know. People have these subdivisions they're very locked into, and they're not willing to go outside of that, or accept people outside of that, or hear things outside of that, you know. And on some level, you know, you can't open the door to everything. You have to have some filters, of course, but it seems like people are not really filtering, but just blocking anyone and everything out that is contrary to them, you know? And like people are just not friendly anymore, you know? Everyone has so much social anxiety. People are so closed off. People are so, oh man, people are driving so stupid here. But yeah, people are so socially anxious and so closed off and so worried about other people judging them, or I don't even know, like people are just not like open to new people. You know, you walk down the street, most people will not smile at you. They'll be very like closed off. Who's he? We don't trust him. He's looking at us. He's walking by us. What's he doing? I don't want to share space with him. I don't want to walk on the same street as him. That's how most people's attitude is. Deep down, it really is. They have a very not an inclusive attitude, a very exclusionary attitude, where they're very scared of new people. It's a fear-based kind of way of being, and they're trying to like keep new people out, like keep new people from coming in. And I could tell you, like back in the day, if I was at the gym, the football game's on, I could probably go up to a couple random people and be, yo, dude, you watching the game, blah, 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 and like have a nice little conversation and chat it up and whatever. But nowadays, I can't really do that anymore. People are so in their headphones, and they're so in their ego too. They're so like, they're seeing me as a threat, you know? And I can see that when I talk to people, where I try to talk to them, like, who's he? Well, what's he doing? Trying to talk to me. What's going on there? You know, they're really doing a lot of that stuff, and it's just like, what the heck? I don't want to deal with it, you know? And, you know, the other reason is people are so fake. Like, I don't have friends right now, you know? Part of that's just dealing with narcissists and me really taking a hard line to say no toxic people in my life. And, you know, I'm a lot happier like that, you know? But it's got to the point where people are so toxic, and the friend group is so toxic, and you're just going to have so much, like, taken from you by being around most people, that it's just like, why have friends? Like, I'm happier alone than having friends, you know? It's not ideal. I mean, it's like, it's not ideal at all, but I guess that just goes to show how toxic people have become. Because a lot of people are happier alone than they are happier being around people. So, you know, I think just, there's no community either. All the traditional communities have been broken down, be it the church or whatever, or this or that. Like everybody is just selfish and out for themselves. Nobody wants to be friendly or anything. You go to these churches and everyone just is like trying to go in and go out as fast as they can. They don't want to talk to anybody. And I don't really know where people make friends. I mean, I know you can make friends places, and I kind of have some kind of friends-ish right now. I don't know if I'd say I have friends, but I have people I'm like friendly with, you know, so I guess I could say that. But it's just like, as an adult, like, I'm 31, like, where do you go to meet people, you know? I don't want to go to these bars or clubs because people are very closed off in those spaces. People are very fake. I don't really drink much alcohol, so it's not really my thing on that. And I've just seen so much fake stuff there, and so much problems and drama and liars and manipulators, and I don't want to deal with it, you know? I don't want to deal with a bunch of people who think they're too good for me, you know? Who think they're too good for anybody, you know? And that's how it is with these people. They think they're too good for anybody, you know? And also, the people who do have friends are like so insulated in some friend group that they've had since elementary school, or we all met in college, or whatever, or we all work together, and they're super insulated in that, and they're basically just going to say, like, I'm just going to be friends with the people I happen to have landed around, and I'm going to just, anybody who's outside of that I don't trust, you know? And that's what most people are doing. That's how they're rocking and rolling. So, you know, that's a very, you know, there's probably not going to be a lot of new perspectives, and not a lot of new knowledge, and it's probably not going to be very fun to hang out with people like that. And just in general, like, most people are so boring to hang out around. They don't want to do anything fun. They don't really have new hobbies or interests. Everything is just like the same repeating thing over and over again. And I don't want to be too doom and gloom. Like, good people do exist. I know they do. I've met them. There are cool people out there, but it seems like they are very few and far between. And most people are extremely mediocre. And not only that, but they want their egos fed. And they want you to affirm their egos. And they want you to tell them that they're right. And they want you to, like, be this source of ego propping up. They want supply. You know, they want that, I guess, that narcissistic supply, or they want attention, or they want something that's, like, draining. And it's just like, I'm not just gonna, like, give that up to you, you know? Like, it's not worth me spending my time together and getting my energy drained, you know? And the thing is, like, you know, the sum of its parts is greater than the finished product is greater than the sum of its parts, you know? So if we could all come together and all click in and work together as a group, I mean, the potential of that is amazing. Like, we could do so much awesome stuff, but, like, people are way too selfish. Like, your average person is incredibly selfish, deluded, and they have essentially deluded themselves in their own mind to prop up their ego, so they don't have to consider that they might have caused problems, or that they have to change, or that they have to improve, or whatever. Like, your average person is just, like, so caked in on the ego, you know? And, like, people also are not very discerning. A lot of people are just kind of on some dumb stuff, you know? And I'm a more intelligent guy, so I don't really want to deal with the dumb stuff and the stupidity and whatever. And I don't know, you know, on some level, it's just like, I don't really fit in with this world, you know? And that's kind of a different topic, but just in general, like, you know, I don't feel like I really fit in with this world. And, you know, even people who feel like they do fit in, it's just, this world's not about good stuff, you know? And most people are very connected to society and to civilization, and they really are, you know, they really are, like, all about it. They really, really love it, you know? So, I don't know, you know, it's kind of hard for me to, I guess, maybe hang out with people like that, but I also just see how your average person is, and like I said, 9 out of 10 people are, like, very unfriendly. Like, I look at people's faces and they just look angry, and, like, they have this, like, big sign that says, don't talk to me, don't approach me. It's like, when I look at their expression, that's what it says. It's very angry, scared, standoffish, and it's like, all right, and then someone's beeping their horn right there, you know? So there you go, you know? But that's kind of the discourse. It's just like people are angry at each other, and that's kind of what it's like. It's like we're all these pigs in a pen, and we're just shoving each other out of the way to get to the slop, and we're all trying to see who can eat, you know, who can get more slop in, or whatever, you know? And it's just like, that's not going to lead to good community, you know? It's not. And, you know, it's so many people who are just liars and users and manipulators, and they're playing games, and they're trying to borrow all this money, and they're trying to whatever, they're just not, like, they're just stabbing people in the back. There's just so much of that stuff going on. And when you let one person like that into a friend group, guess what? It will destroy the whole friend group, because they're spreading all these lies and doing all this backstabbing and stuff like that. You know, you need good people to kind of hold up friendship and community. And I really think, like, there's not a lot of good people left. You know, where are the good people who, like, hold up the community and hold everything up? Like, they're not there anymore. And then you just have people who are greedy and trying to take all the money and trying to control and whatever, and you're just left with a society of isolation, you know? I'm gonna get spiritual here, but when people go to hell, you know, hell is not a very big place, but it's got a lot of people down there, and guess what? No one's hanging out or talking to each other. You're shoulder to shoulder down there, but you're not friends with anybody. And that's how it feels, you know, especially in the big city. It's like, there's people everywhere, but no one wants to be friendly. No one wants to connect. There's just this whole air of like, get away from me, you know? There's a whole kind of angry, scared, you know, just kind of vibe where it's like, are so closed off and distrustful. And like, I get it. Like I mean, on the aggregate, like people are evil and you got to be careful, you know, you don't want evil people to come in your life. I get it. You know, I feel the same way, but just this whole overarching, overly defensive, weird kind of attitude people have, like we have to come out of that, because how long are we going to last like this? You know, like how long is this going to be able to stand up for, you know? How long is our society going to be able to keep functioning like this? Like, and the thing is like, the more we're like this and not together as a community, the more we need the government, the more we need the system, the more we need the matrix, the more we need society, the more we need civilization, you know? Whereas if we could come together as a community and just be cool with each other and stuff, like, and we could work things out together, we wouldn't even really need all this government and stuff. But because we can't, like, we need it, you know? We do, and I'm concerned about the future, you know? I'm legit scared about what the future holds, because, I mean, what's going to happen? Like, how are kids going to make friends, you know? Like, how are they going to make friends with each other? Like, how's that going to happen? Because